So cover story is a real favorite of ours when it comes to visioning for groups or strategic planning for groups. What's the ideal future that we are targeting? And it rolls out like this. Basically, you ask a group to imagine if they were wildly successful at their project, at whatever it is that their company purpose is, that future direction, if that was wildly successful, what would people be saying about their company, about their project? And you have them imagine out. I always like to do at least 3 years, if not 5 years or beyond out, so that we don't get people in a space where they're in that incremental thinking, starting to think about things that, I'm not quite sure if we have the resources for this, or this might get in the way. You have them imagine that, and then ultimately you have them produce the cover story that would have been created or will be created if they were wildly successful, all the way down to the headlines that folks would see online or in print. What publication put those out there? What are people saying on social media about the project or the company? What's the chatter out in the world? What are people ultimately just saying about the company there? What's in the stories that are being shared? And that back and forth there that ultimately encapsulates the true success and gets people to a point where they're imagining and excited about what it looks like down the road for them to be successful in their work. And that ultimately is a powerful anchoring point for then deciding, okay, here's where we want to be. And then ultimately, here's where we are now. What are the steps that we need to take in order to get there? And this is a really fun way to help people do that.
When you think about visioning work, it's really important to help people just get out of the status quo, get beyond all the challenges and all the things that they know won't work or get in the way of making progress, which is really easy to fixate on when you're kind of in the trenches, right? And so cover story mockup is one of those tools that it's really powerful to stretch our imagination out into the future and vision into how things might be. It is such an awesome trick to think about, hey, if there was an amazing article written when we're wildly successful, what does that article look like? I even like to tell people to think about stats, like what are some numbers and figures that would be great ways that this journalist is touting the benefits of this project or the solution, and even bring in some images and sketches. What are the ways that we illustrate and demonstrate that this was such an amazing project?